So I want to say one thing right here, right now, to the government. If all I'm doing is helping you improve your surveillance system, then I want you to pay me for it. I want you to pay me for it, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm exposing this because what you've done to me is illegal. And I'm exposing it to the public now because they have the right to know, just like I do. They've got the right to know. They've got the right to know how to catch you if they suspect they're being monitored. If they see something funny with your PC that they don't understand, they've got the right to know how to catch you if you're doing what I detected when I saw you doing funny shit to my PC. Right? I think so. I think they've got that right. I think the public has that right. So I'm going to teach them how to catch you, USG. Because you are putting your own program at risk. Not me. I'm not the leak. I'm not the risk. You're the risk because you won't respect our Constitution. And until you do so, as I said, I am up your fucking ass. However you want to see it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a kind of preliminary recording. If I can, what I'll do is I'll do a screen shared one as well. But this is going to be instructional. Okay, so for any of you that are curious if the government is spying on you, we're going to find out right now. Okay, so I've got a terminal open right now. I've got the command prompt open. In Windows, it's called the command prompt. Linux, it's called the terminal, or the bash, the born again shell. So what I've got here, I am going to run a trace route. So let me see here. So I live in Oregon. So what I want to do here, I want to go up north to see if I want to see if let's see where I go from Oregon. Okay. So your traffic should go to your ISP. It should clearly say identify them. It should be. I'll give you an example. So I'm gonna go trace search or trace in the command prompt. First, you go to the start menu. Type CMD. You're gonna see the option there to run as administrator. So just go to the start menu. Type CMD. And then before you click anything, you're going to see CMD at the top. And then you're going to see that option to run as administrator to the right. Once you have done that, go to trace, enter trace, RT, one word, trace RT. And pick a website. Let's see how Google's working for me. We'll go google.com. It goes from my internal IP my host name to Xfinity, my domain and host name, and then it goes to Beaverton Comcast, Then it goes to Seattle. Then it goes to Seattle Comcast, and then it ends in Google's IP of 142.250.69.206. But meanwhile, there are 3 mysterious IPs there. That's what the terminal shows. But if you go to a website, and if you go to any other website online where you can just do enter Google trace route online, trace route online map. Find a utility that's going to have the combination of maps, etc. Now, from what I'm seeing, you may not be able to even run a trace route on Google, because no doubt the FBI has called Google, picked up the phone, or vice versa, or whatever. What I see here is that the government has been involved in this situation. That's what I see. That's my perception. That's what I see, based on evidence, because my traffic has changed, and so has my friends. But last time we checked, it was still going along that federal network. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my phone, and I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go to that website, and I am going to go trace route, one word, hyphen online. So it's all one word. See if you can see it. There it is. Okay. So, and if you go to the desktop site, or if you hit the three dots on top right there, you can request the desktop site, and you hold this in on iPhones to request a desktop site. Search area. Okay, so the browser. Okay, so we're gonna go google.com, and I'm gonna show you what has changed on this website. I'm gonna show you what's changed on this website. So you can no longer trace Google. Let's see what happens. Network server error. Network's internal server error. Okay. But the government cannot make it impossible for you to trace every I mean, sites can be removed, you know. I mean, the owners of these websites can say, hey, well, we're going to remove this and this and this and this site, or people that own Google. Google could pick up the phone and say, hey, can you remove us from your ability for people to run a trace? Or the FBI can ask Google, say, hey, can you call these websites, all these third-party sites, and make it so that people can't run a trace, so they can find out if we're spying on us? Because David said that he's going to make a podcast that where he said he was going to show everybody how to do it, and now all of a sudden we make this change and we stop sending him and his friends traffic through the Newark, New Jersey FBI. Instead, we send it along the same network in a different obscured location, says the FBI. Right? Like the Atlanta, Georgia. Let's see. Let me go. Let me hop across the US here, and let's enter. Let's try something else. Let's go. New Jersey. Let's find a website in New Jersey and see where my traffic goes. Let's see if it crosses the White House. Let's see if it crosses known federal locations, okay? That's what you want to do. Like if you've got an FBI 20 miles from you, search for a website that's 20 that's a state away or that crosses that area on that path, you know? If that makes sense. So anything in the direction towards the White House, you know, in other words. So let's go. That's what I thought it was. Well, no. New Jersey. Let's go Maine. Maine.gov. Let's just go to the state of Maine. So I'm going to go main.gov, and let's do this one. And the IPs that are here that are suspicious are 3 IPs. That's 50.2. Write these down, USG. 50.248, and people, if you want, and research them. 50.248.116.70. That's the first one. Here's the second two along the same range. 142.251.70.103. The third one. 142.251.48.213. Those are the 3 IPs my traffic goes to after being passed, after leaving my home and then being passed to my service provider. My traffic gets handed off to another network. And we see that here with what I am about to show you. Here is what's hidden from the terminal. All of this information. But these other websites show them, and that's why the government is trying to prevent that. That's why, in my opinion, that's what I see. That's what I've seen. Okay, what I've seen is that there's a difference in my traffic, and I know the government's involved. So, yep, the IPs are hidden. They're hidden. I'm gonna run the same trace. Let's see how hidden they are actually. I'm gonna go main.gov. Tracert main.gov. Unable to resolve target system name main. Oh, huh. Here we go. It goes from me, it goes to my service provider, as it should. And the request times out. 1 point, here we go. I'm looking for evidence in the terminal, and on this third-party map, third-party website, I'm looking for evidence that my traffic's being passed off elsewhere. But here it shows that my traffic is going through the Liberty Plaza in Atlanta, Georgia, next to Georgia State. That's you, USG. That's you. That's not Xfinity. And that's not Xfinity's network. That's yours. Because it leads to you. And I've got proof of that. I've got proof that this is your domain. I mean, I can prove it. You know, I can prove the past. You know, and I'm getting requests that are timing out. I'm looking for this IP that my traffic gets passed off to from my service provider is 74.207.239.106 on the online trace, and that is that capital. Yeah, that's then it remains on that network, and when requests just keep timing out. But when you zoom in on that, the FBI is a 15-minute drive north. And from what I saw, no, they're not on this map, this third-party map. Not that I could see, but maybe they are. Let me see. Anyway, if you do use any website you can, because some of these websites, they aren't going to comply with the government. They aren't going to. They're going to say no, we don't give a shit, is what they're going to say, or not respond, or maybe they'll get paid off to change some of these things. But what the government is doing, what the government is seeing, from what I can tell, what they're saying is, okay, so they've noticed clearly. I mean, as soon as I said something, they made a change. As soon as I said something, they made a change on my friend's phone, and I called them. I mean, on my friends, with my friend's traffic and mine. As soon as I said I was going to do this, as soon as I said I was going to expose it to the public in a podcast and explain to everybody how, they made it so that they're not so obvious about it. You know, it no longer will go straight to the FBI, but a Capitol building before it. So I'm gonna take one of these IPs that came up, and I'm gonna run a trace on that IP, one of those suspicious IPs, and let me see what that is. What is 150.222 and 0.99.75? Who is intercepting my traffic here? Internal server error. Well, let me use trace. Now, Linux users would get a more thorough result. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that WinMTR app to get a more thorough. So again, download WinMTR, one word, WinMTR. And I'm going to run a trace this way on that IP. Well, in fact, no, I'm going to go main.gov. I'm going to do it again, main.gov. And let's see. I'm unable. Oh. Keep on spelling main wrong without the E at the end. Start. Oh my, wow. Oh, whoa. That gave instant results all across the board. Until no host found. No response from host, there's an option to turn off something to do with the ping response, or something to do with forgot what that's called, but The government is clearly actively working to hide this secret, and they can go fuck themselves. Because I'm going to expose it no matter what. I'm going to expose it no matter what. Bottom line, people, if you find out that you're on a different, if you, okay, use the terminal, okay, if you're a Linux user, or use the CMD command, the command prompt, and run a trace route, trace RT, okay. Anything that is not related to your service provider, I would be suspect about. For instance, I would be very suspicious about. So, for instance, let me show you. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a screenshot. I'm gonna take a picture here of my screen. Snap. Okay, where the request begins to time out is where things become not so. Hold on. Okay, so you cannot see that. I'm noticing this, but at the top, where this finger is, and up, from here up, it'll show my service provider's name in the domain, so I can see that my service provider is handling my traffic based on the host names. Comcast.net, 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 the domain, and the host name before the domain. So it goes from Oregon, it seems, to Colorado, and then from Colorado to Texas. And then from there, that's where it times out. And there's an FBI location there in Texas where I was seeing that my traffic was being routed near at one time along this. It is a federal network because I've seen it. I've got pictures of it. Okay. It is, and what I mean is this. Okay. What I mean, I'm going to show you images. Hold on. Damn. You'll understand when I show you these pictures pretty good. I'm going to show you a series of pictures over the camera. Okay? Here's the first one. We all recognize that location, don't we? Well, that's the White House. Okay. And that IP, they expose their IP intentionally, it seems. It goes up toward the New York area and the Newark, New Jersey area. If you look at this where it says LO0, hold on. In the host name, that is this. That's the FBI host and domain name for, well, I mean, I'm saying I've got pictures of traffic going from the White House or my traffic going from the White House. Oh, and my friend does too, by the way. This isn't a joke. This is for real. So going from there to the FBI, Newark, New Jersey, or if I trace another route, my traffic will be routed along other locations that are federal or military bases, Capitol buildings. So what I mean to say here is you can see where your traffic in the terminal, this is what you do, okay? So you find out from the command prompt or from the terminal where your traffic starts to look funny. Okay, so it'll say your service providers, your ISP, right? But then it may time out or something like that. And before I was getting a more clear trace. And that's a part of the damning evidence that I actually do have against the FBI. It's evidence I haven't posted. So they think they see everything I have, but they just don't. They don't, because I went dark. Because what I mean by that is I unplugged my modem, I unplugged my router, I did what I had to do to protect myself. Okay. I have a drive plugged into the back of my router right now so that I can record my own traffic, so that I can't be accused of doing something bad. And that's right there. And I've got images of the router that's been attacked. I mean, of all the data I backed up, you know. And of my web traffic, etc. So this went like this, an attack like this, okay, on me, is what I found in my router that day. Hold on. So, and those IPs led back to an attack that I've already described. But they went to... I was attacked from Chisinau, hope I said that right, Moldova, and it hopped back to the US to the FBI before I was attacked. Hold on. Oops, that's not help. Trying to focus. Okay. Okay. So, and the name of this, there is the host name that attacked me. It was example XYZ. It's like they were using me as a goddamn example. Okay, and that, from there, it went to the FBI before I was attacked. From there, I was directly attacked. Okay, I've got the logs of it. And then I rebooted my PC and it stopped working. Both operating systems, both. I couldn't recover. Even after working on the EFI partitions, something was wrong, something I didn't understand as a computer technician, something beyond my understanding. All I know is that I was attacked and that I have proof that I wasn't just surveilled. This skipped my router. The attack says that there was a shell script. It's logged as a shell script execution against my internal IP. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment without a warrant. That's the FBI coming into my home and searching my possessions. That's like somebody going into your pocket or your underwear drawer without your permission, without probable cause. And it caused me a great deal of disturbance. So, this video has been for instructional purposes. For any of you that are curious to know more about how to find out if the FBI or the federal government are breaking or violating any of your constitutional rights, your Fourth Amendment, seek other instructional videos on how to perform any of the functions I've described. When you get to working on it, just do some research. As I said, Google is your best friend. Be determined. Okay? Be determined. Okay? If you see something on a map when you zoom in, and make sure you zoom in, make sure you know where the nearest FBI location is. Don't just say, oh, well, there's nothing there and give up. No, you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong if you're being surveilled. And can't tell you're being surveilled is what I'm saying. Because it could happen to anybody. This could be your traffic right here. You're not going to know. You're not going to know it's going from the Atlanta, Georgia, to what, Texas FBI, back to Oregon, or whatever, you know. See, now, no matter what I do, no matter what trace I perform, or how I do it, the government makes sure they're making sure it's relatively obscured, not from me, but from you, and from the rest of the people. See, they're thinking that this ploy here is going to work, is what they're thinking. They're thinking, well, as long as people don't see that their traffic's going through the FBI or the White House, it's okay. You know, we can just get away with it. No, no, they can't get away with it, because if it doesn't say Comcast.net or whatever when you do these results, and if you find that your traffic is being routed along a different domain name server, then Comcast.net, Colorado.ibone.comcast.net, whatever, your traffic is being intercepted by another network. It should go to your service provider, and then to the website you're seeking, and then back to you, and that's it. So look out for those domain names that end in excuse me, that end in linode.com and similar, such as I've shared. I may include a link with this video. Hell, I'll just include a link to a folder, okay, to a drive folder that I already have. You can see in there, you can read a letter that I sent to the OIG. I sent it to the Washington, D.C. AG. I sent it to the U.S. AG. I sent it to the House and Senate, civil rights and constitutional rights subcommittees. And I sent it to the Office of Civil Rights at the DOJ. And yeah, I filed a report, an IC3 report with or against the FBI on the FBI's website. So no wonder they didn't follow up with me. No wonder they're ducking me. I think they're cowards, is what I think. I think the FBI are cowards. Because you don't do this to an innocent American, and especially a disabled one, unless you're a fucking coward. So there's my instructional video. And yeah, use whatever third-party website that's not compliant with the US's bullshit. Try other websites besides Traceroute Online if need be, but Traceroute-Online will show you it the moment you go from Comcast or whatever your provider is, there'll be a clear change in domain. It shouldn't be that way unless you've got it set up in your router to be that way. Okay? It may go skip to something like Linode. Okay? You may find out along that trace somewhere there's an FBI location within a 15-minute drive or something like this, as I've been finding out. This isn't in my head. This isn't in my head, but I can zoom in and see the White House and the FBI. There's something to that when I'm communicating with the criminal division in an email, and then they make sure that during that moment, as I do a trace, that I'm seeing my traffic go through the White House, and then later it goes back to the Newark, New Jersey FBI. Now they're just keeping it quiet. Quiet, we're fucking up, we're breaking people's rights, we don't really want this to get out. My foster mother would tell me, if you have to hide something, that means it's wrong. Okay. So, there's certain things that apparently the government is hiding from us that are not for the sake of national security. They're for the sake of national security and for the government overstepping because they don't give a fuck about your rights. And they lie and say they do. And they don't. They're greedy. They want all they can have, and they want to take all they can take because it's all about bureaucracy. It's all about their own political world where they exist and we don't exist. And they're going to start taking us seriously pretty soon.